Now, more Campaign 2020 coverage and another in our series of special reports ahead of the election. Tonight, we take a closer look at the two candidates facing off to be Broward County's next Supervisor of Elections. Here's CBS 4's Ty Russell.
Republican Catherine McBreen and Democrat Joe Scott are running to be the Supervisor of Elections in Broward. Both are laying out their plans for the office if declared a winner in November.
But I also think that we should maybe create some mobile facilities. I mean, we have a lot of elderly residents in this part of the state, and maybe we could find ways to get mobile voting units to them.
McBreen has hopes of increasing turnout by eventually taking polling places to seniors and getting college and high school students engaged in elections. She believes if the young are motivated, their parents will be as well. Scott wants to use the office's budget to educate voters, especially on local elections, to increase turnout. He also believes social media will play a big part in leading the office into the future.
I think this office, with the budget that we have for education and outreach, we do have an opportunity to improve civics education in the community.
There's near 1.2 million active registered voters in Broward. About half identify as Democrat. But the second largest group is made up of voters who don't affiliate with the party. The candidates are distancing themselves from being political.
I did not come from the political establishment here in Broward County. Very few people in the political world knew who I was.
This position shouldn't be a political position. I think this should be an administrative position appointed by partisan committees.
The current elections chief is Peter Antonacci, who is not running. He was appointed to replace Dr. Brenda Snipes. She resigned after her suspension was rescinded following her handling of the November midterm election.
After my 5 years of service in the military, I've spent the last decade working in technology-oriented businesses.
Scott has a background in the military. He graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point and even had a tour of duty in Iraq. McBreen has spent 30 years auditing corporations. She's also an attorney.
If I can make sure that securities are being traded safely and securely, that I think that I can make sure that votes are being counted fairly.
One other goal from both candidates as elections chief in Broward is to avoid being in the controversial spotlight.
So my goal is not to be a high-profile person and to make sure that we just kind of fade silently and very efficiently into the future.
We need a supervisor of elections who can integrate those new systems without having the type of hiccups that we've grown accustomed to.
And since both are vying to be the elections chief, we wanted to know how active they've been in the voting process.
I've always voted. In fact, I was stationed in South Korea in 2006, and I voted by mail from South Korea.
Since I've become an adult, I have never missed a chance.
In Lauderhill, Ty Russell, CBS 4 News.
For all your election information, go to our website, cbsmiami.com/campaign2020.